What's going on? It's the RapNerd, and with the new Batman just dropping, I've been able to digest it. I figured, why not do a ranking of the Batman solo films? So, without further ado, let's get started.
RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy.
Let me preface this list by saying I don't hate any of the Batman movies. I like all of them. I'm a huge Batman fan. I've been a huge fan since a kid, so there's no hate about any of these movies. I love them all, though I do have certain issues with certain movies. I don't hate them all, so don't take anything as I say with malice. So at the bottom of the list, of course, pretty much you can guess, Batman and Robin. This is '66 Batman in the '90s, and just super duper campy. We pretty much know why that is when it comes to this movie. Everything is so over the top. Certain characters aren't portrayed as they should be, aka Bane, if you know what I mean. But there's like a number of things. I mean, even with Mr. Freeze being over the top and spewing corny lines. Let's kick some ice. Chill. I don't know if you said it the fourth time, but you get what I'm saying. This is a movie I still enjoy, though. I still watch it Christmas. It reminds me of the holiday season, so I always just watch it, and I just kind of take it for what it is. Back in the '90s when it came out as a kid, this was like huge to me, so I will forever love it. But it's the bottom of the list. Next on this list will be Batman '89. Again, some of y'all are gonna be like, "What the fuck? What's happening?" No disrespect to the movie at all, but for me, it's just the film that I kind of watched the least, but even though I watch it the least, I still think it's a really, really good introduction to Bruce. This is the first time we got to see Joker, and Jack Nicholson, made his iconic debut of the character in a film, live action, and did an outstanding job. I like the way that they weave Joker into Bruce's past, making him the person that actually killed Bruce's parents, and Bruce having to struggle with, how to go about the Joker. You're confronting your killer, the killer of your parents, and you have this rule that you want to stick to. I think it really puts Bruce through the ringer, and also, having Prince being part of the soundtrack, making the Batman soundtrack, you really can't beat that. I still love Party Man. I think it's an incredible track. I think that whole scene is very iconic, going through the museum, just fucking the paint up, just Joker just causes as much chaos as he can. The movie is extremely adult, more so than, I remember being as a kid, watching as a kid, you think it's just Batman, but man, this killer shit that goes on, literally. Joker blows people away. I mean, he melts a dude with his with his flower. So I still enjoy this movie. I think Keaton is the OG Batman. He's the OG that we all look at like, oh yeah, you started it off. No disrespect to Adam West, of course, but for most of us, the folks my age, we look at Keaton as the OG Batman. So I got that as I don't even know what number this is, so I'm just gonna go up. You know what I mean? So whatever number this is, there it goes. Next on this list is Batman Returns. Now, I really enjoy this movie more than '89. I think I'm just a sucker for holiday stuff. Like, I love that it takes place during Christmas. I even think the cinematography is a lot better than '89. Of course, it's the advancement of technology, and just to me, this film really speaks to Tim Burton, like his actual style, more than '89, and it has a particular vision that is brought to life in this movie more than '89. I love the depiction of the Penguin, him being gruesome, and the darkness of this movie. We get to see the first Catwoman, who I still think is awesome. I think Michelle, her portrayal of Selena Kyle, fantastic. Again, Keaton being the Batman, the same Batman from '89, just a little bit more kill happy. I mean, literally strapped a bomb to a clown and kicked him in a ditch and blew his ass up. It's hilarious. But this movie for me is more of the aesthetic, again, the cinematography, the set design. It's so grand and gothic, and it just fits really well with the snow and the season. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoy this movie. So Batman Returns is next on that, on the next one up on this list. Now after that is Batman Forever. This movie gets a lot of slack. Does it get slack? It's a mix-up. I don't really know what people's temperature on it. I know I see more people talking shit about it than I do actually loving it. But I think this is really I think it's a pretty damn good Batman movie. I think Val Kilmer puts more in his performance than the ones before it. He actually, I can see the Batman in it, and you can even see the more of the struggles he has to deal with being Batman. I even like the idea of Two-Face, at the circus calling out Batman, like, if you really are Batman, step up to the place and save his family. And he actually stands up and says, Harvey, I am Batman, I'm Batman. And he does it like this. It's not even like a thought. And that's just so much of what a heroic Batman would do, And Val Kilmer killed it. I think having Chris O'Donnell's Robin was a good choice. And even with him being at his age, it kind of makes, it looks less creepy. Like some people be trying to say, like, oh, you got a kid. Even though, this version of Robin is a kid, he's not like a kid, you know what I mean? So I like him in the role. I think, Jim fucking Carrey, this is like peak Jim Carrey. He's over the top. He is full of puns. He's just the Jim Carrey from the 90s that we know and love, and his performance is just top tier, man. Like, it's just so exaggerated. Same with, Two-Face. Like, I can't even recall seeing Tommy Lee Jones act like this in any other movie. He is so on 10 that while it's not what we expect from Two-Face, you see from Two-Face, it's just out there. Like, Batman Forever to me is if Batman was an opera, and they brought that to the big screen. I love the big over-the-top set piece production designs. I love big ass statues that look larger than life, the colorful light that paints the city with the pinks and the blues, and even with the action. I love the score being so big band like. It's just amazing. Like I really enjoyed Batman Forever like quite a bit. So that's is on the list. Next on this list is The Dark Knight Rises. I thoroughly enjoyed most of this movie. I think the third act is where it kind of like loses a bit of its steam, but I still enjoy it because it's like Batman now, like grounded Batman in the modern day times. Like this operates like a real movie, as the other movies in Nolan's trilogy. They just really double down on making it grounded as hell. We finally, I thank this movie for actually correcting Bane's portrayal to the public, because for the longest people just thought he was, the Batman. He was the Bane in Batman and Robin, who just like, oh, Bane smash. When in actuality, he is a hyper intelligent dude that ones up Batman in one of the greatest, comic book runs of all time. Nightfall was ridiculous. All the Easter eggs, the breaking of the back. I think Dark Knight Rises is the best shot movie of Nolan's trilogy. The cinematography is just mind blowing. From the color palette to the framing, it's got one of the best intros in any Batman movie. Like, I love the intro with Bane. Like, right off the bat, they introduce Bane and let you know what he's about, let you know that he's not for the games and that he will get what he wants. Again, the only thing that takes this movie down for me is the third act. I feel like that's only because the unfortunate passing of Heath Ledger, because he was supposed to be part of the third act, and I feel like they had to kind of just do a whole lot of rewrites and coming of new ideas because of his passing. I kind of excuse it because of that, because there's not much you can do with tragedy, and still made it work for the most part. Like I said, I didn't like that they turned Bane to a puppet, and the mask, I don't know what that was actually used for outside of covering his scar. But I do love the ending of Batman passing up the torch, because I feel like that's what Batman stands for. It's a symbol. Anybody can be Batman, and I think that's what the ending was saying. So Dark Knight Rises is right there. Next on this list is Batman Begins. Nolan's trilogy, I feel like this is the most Batman movie of them all. Like, I love the way Gotham looks. It looks all gritty. It looks all dirty. It has a certain tint to it. I love Crane's, Dr. Crane in the film. Ra's al Ghul was cool too. I just love when they're in Gotham, and I love how Scarecrow's toxin is portrayed and how like it looks different depending on who gets sprayed with it, and I love the camera effect playing with the depth and the filters put on the person when they get hit with the toxin. I loved how you see you get to see Bruce's backstory literally from the start to him becoming Batman. We know we get to relive the Wayne murders. We get to see how he lived with it as a kid. You know, from a young age to him being a teenager to him being not teenager, him being like a college style student who like he resents everything. He's just like, man, fuck all of this. Like I don't care about any of this type of stuff. Even ends up, you know, leaving, and he has the idea to, you know, to kill the people who killed his parents, and you just see it play out, and I think it's just, you know, brilliantly done. And again, this is the best Gotham. It's the most Batman movie. The introduction to Batman when he gets his suit and comes to Gotham to stop the people on the dock is like one of the best intros ever, you know, to Batman. So thoroughly enjoyed that, man. Like Batman Begins, I've learned to like it more over the years. You're not saying I disliked it, but you know, I kind of slept on it, you know, when it first released, and I'm just really learning to appreciate it more. Like I said, Dr. Crane is just awesome, man. I just love how he can be the normal, cool, reserved doctor, and then in this instant, he just snaps and turns into Scarecrow. Love the mask, the design. I think the action is pretty dope, even though the fighting, you know, the way it's cut is. I still enjoy it for the story and the cinematography. It's got some of the best Batman shots in there. Love the Year One reference when he presses the button and the bats come flying through. It's fucking awesome, man. So, Batman Begins. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Next on this list is The Dark Knight. I don't really know what else needs to be said about this movie, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Joker, fucking fantastic. Just Heath Ledger just destroyed this thing, man. Like brought his own flavor to the Joker, you know, because before him, the only Joker we had seen was, you know, Jack Nicholson. So for him to take this character, just rebrand it and do what he did with it, absolutely stunning. His voice, his kills, just what he stood for, like fucking just amazing, man. Like, you know, Two-Face showing the White Knight being taken, you know, doing his best at stopping the city, and you see the White Knight fall. I mean, they get that aspect of the Long Halloween down pat, and I love seeing that fallen soldier, and you even get the glimpses of Harvey Dent on that road to becoming Two-Face. You know, when he takes that one of Joker's henchmen to a back block, and he's willing to play truth, you know, flip for his life, and depending on what side of the coin falls on. I think that was a really, really brilliant way to depict Harvey Dent, and they did it so well. I love the switch of from Begins being super duper Gotham-like to kind of showing a different side of Gotham being more realistic, and I feel like this hones in on that realistic aspect so much. I like the new suit, the mech type suit, because I've always pictured Batman having kind of like armor if it was real, and I think it was done really, really well. In the opening, man, with, you know, the clowns breaking into the bank, and Joker giving each person kill the next person when you get to the step. That's brilliant. That's like one of the most brilliant ways to do a heist. Like, fantastic, dog. Fantastic. The score just pounds and pounds and pounds. The story just forever weaving, and Joker controlling the whole narrative. You know, what else needs to be said? We all know about The Dark Knight. I mean, and The Dark Knight definitely is up there because it single-handedly made people take comic book movies seriously. You know what I mean? Like, this is the one that made people be like, comic book movies can have all of the things that other movies have as well. We're not looking at them as separate. They can be this, and, you know, out of that we got other movies, and I just really, you know, love The Dark Knight. So yes, you probably think this is blasphemy, but my number one Batman movie is The Batman. Yes, it just came out, but I don't care. I think this is the best Batman movie by, let me not say that and be disrespectful, but I do feel like it's by a long shot, and let me tell you why. I have a review too, so I reviewed the whole entire movie, but having sat with it for a while, I just think this movie gets everything right. Every single thing right about Batman, this movie does. It feels like the animated series, like a season, just a whole season condensed into a 3-hour movie in live action. Like, here, it's so perfect. Bruce Wayne being who he is so perfect. Him being the recluse, it just, you know, yeah, it's not the Bruce Wayne that we know, well, know on the surface to most pop culture. People don't know about this side, but I mean, this is fucking 0 year, like plumbing period. Like when Bruce isn't even, because at the start of that comic book, Bruce doesn't care about being Bruce Wayne. He's kind of just like, I just want to be Batman. And as the issue keeps going, he learns that he has to become Bruce. He has to become more than Batman, and Bruce Wayne has to actually do something in the public. And he learns that by the end of the Batman. So I just think him going through this whole movie, learning that like, I can't just be Batman. Because when you think about the film, if you've seen it, Batman doesn't, the Riddler wins. He doesn't stop the Riddler. The Riddler does everything he wants to do. He killed everybody. He dismantles Gotham in a major way. The end of the movie, Gotham is in terrible shape. This is spoilers. I should have said that. This is spoilers because I mean, I can't beat around the bush anymore. But Gotham is left in floods. It's left in water. So he literally won. Batman lost the whole time. You know, he captured the Riddler and threw him in jail, but with the Riddler left behind, look, Gotham in shambles. So you see him learn his whole way. And one of the things about this movie that's done so well is the amount of imperfections in it. This is an imperfect world, an imperfect Gotham. Like Batman kicks ass, but he also gets his ass kicked. I mean, he gets shot with a shotgun. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't stop anybody from dying. You know, Catwoman isn't really Catwoman. I mean, she is, but she's not. You know, she's still learning who she is. Gordon is still working his relationship out with Batman. Batman has a terrible relationship with the cops. It's a lived-in world. We see so many different things. Like it's just so much in one movie that it gets every single thing right. And I cannot say that enough. It has great action. I think all the fight sequences are dope. One of the things that I had an issue with the Dark Knight trilogy is the action was just not that great. We got the best car chase scene we ever got ever. That suit is fire. I think making Batman actually scary, like the way they play with the shadows and they play with his footsteps and him, the rain and it being dark the entire time. Like it's fucking Gotham. You know what I mean? Like it gets everything right. The score being a big band symphony the whole time to help build up these scenes to give it a vintage quality, but yet it's still modernized to be immersive and intense. It's awesome. Riddler being a serial killer that we get all the horror vibes from. I mean, the first frame that we get of Riddler standing behind that guy is just perfect. It's just fucking perfect, man. Like, I cannot speak enough about this movie. It easily is like my favorite Batman movie, easily one of my favorite comic book movies. You can scream recency bias. I don't give a shit. It's not that. I can break down exactly why I like this movie, and I've only seen it once. So when I do see it another time, which I'm going to see it again, I'll really be able to go in. But just based off of what I'm seeing, what I saw that one time, it's easily the best. You know, cinematography, fantastic. This whole movie feels like you're flipping pages of a graphic novel. The narration, the relationships that grow with Batman and other people throughout the whole movie. You see the comic books coming to life. And this is literally the best ending to every Batman movie. Batman realizing he has to be more than just Batman. He has to be a sign of hope for the city to really get better. You know, he focused so much on being vengeance and instilling fear. He didn't focus on the people of Gotham who need help. And seeing him become that hope, I don't think we've ever seen it in any Batman movie of him actually being a symbol of hope. Him actually being on the ground with the medics, with the police, helping people. I mean, the whole third act when he lights that torch and he's leading people out of the waters. I was on a stream earlier and Dave was like, related it to Moses. And another guy in the stream, Joey, related him falling into the water, coming back out a different person as being a baptism of he's a changed man. Like, that's so good. So damn good, man. So I've been talking for 20 minutes. Let me not keep geeking out. So that's my list right there. I purposely left off Zack Snyder's films because I'm a huge Snyder fan. So don't think it's because of whatever. I just think BVS, Batman vs Superman, the Ultimate Edition, it's kind of hard to pair with solo movies because it's got so much going on. I mean, Superman and Batman in one movie. Zack Snyder's Justice League is a whole different league of a ball game. I mean, you got the entire Justice League, Darkseid, Steppenwolf, Desaad, fucking the Atom, Vocal. It's just so much going on. So I didn't include that one in it, and I love those movies. So don't even come at me. And if you don't like them, oh well. But I love Batman vs Superman. I love Zack Snyder's Justice League. Both of those are in my favorites. Comic book movies ever, and my movies in period. So that's that. And the 66 version, I respect it for sure, but it's just too old school for me, and I'm just like, I didn't want to consider that, and that's the OOG for real. So anyway, that is my list. Thank you for watching, and if you like this, please like and subscribe, and until next time, peace.